Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wyld. Today we are talking about, this is why I just use Walmart pickup. Doordash driver delivers $500 worth of Lush products, then sees her tip. So with many orders on DoorDash, I've always been a firm believer of no tip, no trip. That goes for any order, let alone Walmart or whatever merchant it may come from. This driver is apparently seeing a $500 order and a very poor tip. So with that said, we are talking about everything that's being said in this article, how it actually is for DoorDash, UberEats, and Grubhub drivers and customers, and everything in between. So with that said, let's get started. A DoorDash driver's recent TikTok re-sparked a familiar debate on delivery gig tips. TikToker and DoorDasher Missgingerjay says a customer ordered $500 worth of Lush products. Lush is a cosmetic store that specializes in handmade products and bath bombs. Despite the large and expensive order, Jay says she received a $1 tip. Her video now has over 111,000 views. The things you do for content, huh? I'm gonna leave our TikTok exposure profile in the description so you can develop your own opinions on the subject. First off, I understand the frustration that comes from taking a large order and not feeling as if you're getting compensated enough for it. But it was also something you would have seen right out of the gate. It's no tip, no trip. Not no tip, do the order anyway. Not no tip, make a TikTok about how horrible the order was. Not no tip, expect a cash tip after. No tip, no trip. It's that simple. So while I understand the frustration, it is just as much on you as it is on them.
Literally, the wealthy will never respect the working class. Tell me why, as a dasher, I just did a $500 shopping order from Lush. I went and spent fucking almost an hour of my time shopping, and the total ended up being $511. Hold on one sec, I'll insert a picture.
You know, somebody once asked me why I prefer a natural look for a girl. It is not necessarily because people don't do really well with makeup or anything like that. It's because makeup is expensive as fuck. Like, that's an unreasonable amount to spend on makeup. I'm sure there are cheaper brands, but Jesus Christ.
And then the fucking person, after a 16-mile delivery, 30-minute drive, tipped $1. A fucking dollar. A week before Christmas, you can afford to spend $500 on Lush, not including any of the fees or anything, but just on fucking products, and you can't spend more than $1 on your fucking dasher's time? Are you fucking kidding? Like...
I mean, why would you expect anything else, to be honest? Like, you see that the order is a 16-mile delivery, a 30-minute drive, and you have to shop for each individual item, not to mention the chances you'll have to replace items and everything along the way. In a makeup place, I'm already losing my shit. Also, you brought up the point of it being a week before Christmas. Let me ask you something. Do you think that BS people and shit people take a week off for Christmas? No, they tend to actually work harder and spend less. Even though they don't know how to spend money, that's what they do. There are generous people out there, but the generous people tend to be more generous. Not the non-generous people start feeling a sense of generosity. She then shows the base pay she received for completing the order. She received $13.75. This, combined with her $1 tip, resulted in a $14.75 payout for the venture to Lush. If you can't afford the tip, go to the store yourself. The disrespect. I'm tired. How can I afford life this way? She questioned in the caption of her video. Okay, the whole point about her base pay. For a 16-mile delivery, I'm surprised it's that much. But here's the reality. $14.75 for a 16-mile delivery. You know that they didn't tip sufficiently. You know that was declined a bunch of times. Why would you expect suddenly that the customer would be decent enough to tip you after? You You are just as much at fault for accepting a bad order. I'm sorry if that makes you cry, but it's reality. You are just as much at fault for taking a bad order than them tipping poorly. Because why would you allow someone to treat you that way? It's no tip, no trip. Viewers weigh in. Commenters engaged in a familiar back and forth over tipping. Several viewers remarked that tipping isn't mandatory and that Jay should find a new line of work. Others argued that tipping is a common courtesy. And then some claimed the financial honest lies on DoorDash itself. You mean all the same arguments that shitty people use to justify shitty behavior? That's what I thought. I'm not tipping a driver a percentage of my order. I tip based on the mileage to the store and if groceries a little bit more. A $500 order doesn't mean a $50 to $100 tip for the driver, one argued. I'm gonna make this point, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for it, but I do hear a little bit of what they're saying. If you're doing a $500 order and then tipping $100 on top of that seems like a lot, but especially for groceries, that is a lot, and you should be tipping that much because why would I do your shopping for you if you can't even do that much? That's number one. Number two, let's say they did a $500 order and they tipped $20. Like, it's not the full 20% of any point, but that is still a solid order in comparison to an average DoorDash order. Again, not justifying anything, but with the $13.75 base plus a $20 tip, you would have made $33.75. I do believe a 20% or $5, whichever is higher, is my rule, but I hear both sides. But Jay responded, claiming that she wasn't looking for a percentage-based tip. I would have been happy with a $20 tip, lol. It was 20 items and 16 miles. That's barely 5%, she said. You see, that's what I'm talking about. Like, if it was a $20 tip, that would have been plenty. But in reality, it was $1, and quite honestly, an insult. That basically says, I don't value you the way you should value yourself. They need to build at least a 25% tip at minimum, another argued, siding with Jay. Okay, I don't know about bare minimum tip amounts, but I do believe for larger orders, they should have something in place for that. Like, if you're gonna pull that shit, you should be held accountable. Like, if it's gonna be an order that's over $100 or over a certain amount. I know that that's gonna be a huge argument in general, so let me know what you guys think in the comments. I agree with you. You should get fair pay, but a tip isn't your pay. A tip is a gratuity because someone's grateful, but it's not pay. Take it up with DoorDash, another said. Again, a low-functioning take from low-functioning people. You're making that point with the assumption that we are employed by DoorDash. We're independent contractors. We are in business for ourselves. She shouldn't be taking poor orders, and DoorDash should be paying better. But it is just as much your responsibility, and quite honestly, if you're gonna choose to deflect, that says more about your shitty character than anything else. Jay responds to critics. Jay stitched her own video to respond to critics. In it, she calls out their horrendous remarks. I prefer to think of them as low-functioning failures, but okay. She explains the reason she DoorDashes is because she's a single mom with a 5-year-old special needs child. She also says that because she's chronically ill and disabled, she needs a flexible schedule, which is something DoorDash provides. Furthermore, she says she works 2 jobs as well, and she also in school. Her education is part of her pursuit to work towards a better career. But for the time being, I need DoorDash to pay my rent, which is $1,600 after utilities, and then my car payment, insurance, my cell phone, and my son's care, she lists. Okay, I hear what you're saying, and I'm glad that you know why you're dashing, but you can't expect the wrong people to do the right thing, number one. Number two, it's not more justifiable for them not to tip you as it is for anybody else. If somebody makes a low-functioning point like,
I tip after service. Why should I tip you? I don't think I should tip you. I don't even like tipping. America's tipping culture is all over the place. It's just gross. Get a real job.
then they are not the kind of people you want to work with regardless of whatever the situation may be for you. Yes, I get it. You got a kid, and yeah, I understand you are working your ass off, and kudos to you, and I really hope that everything works out in your favor. I do. But the fact of the matter is, this is gross. Like, you can't allow people to treat you like this. Despite her grievances with low-tipping customers, she says that DoorDash has literally kept her from being homeless at certain times. Moreover, she says her child's father hasn't paid a penny in child support up until a year ago. She says her own personal struggles aren't what encouraged her to post her initial video. She says she simply wanted to drive home the fact that everyone deserves fair pay. Hey, you know what? Maybe that's the truth. DoorDash does need to raise their base pay. Customers do need to tip for their drivers and pay for their services and not act so entitled to receive service for free. But you can't condone the bad behavior of accepting bad orders either. It's just a fact. She says she believes DoorDashers operate similarly to servers and should be compensated as such. I hate it when people make that comparison because it's just so not true. Servers don't have the same expenses as drivers. There's a lot more to it, and there's a lot more freedoms that come with being a DoorDash driver. That's why being an independent contractor of that sort is just a better opportunity. She also claims that the Dasher fee assigned to an order barely covers gas and car maintenance. These financial burdens, Jay points out, are shouldered by Dashers. No matter what, we deserve fair pay, she says in her video. Yes, because that's what it means to be in business for yourself. You take on the expenses on whatever work you're doing. How much should you tip a DoorDash driver? Business Insider spoke with 10 Dashers and seemed to agree the tip for orders should be percentage based. One of them did say that the size of the order matters most. Grubhub, another food delivery service, has encouraged percentage based tipping. And over on Reddit, Dashers argued that mileage is what matters most. For me, the generosity depends on a lot of things. Distance, road condition, paved dirt on any gate coves, whether it's a multifamily complex or a house, how much stuff they ordered, special instructions, or anything else would affect the difficulty of the delivery, another said, arguing that customers should take several factors into account when determining what is an appropriate tip. And like I said, my rule of thumb, this is me, for tipping a driver, server, or anything else that has to do with tipping, is $5 or 20%, whichever is higher. That is my personal rule. And I want to attract customers that are like me, that are going to respect the work I do, that are going to treat me right. And I don't want to work with people that are anything less than that. If they're going to treat me like dog shit, they cannot receive service. It's just a fact. This is my opinion. It's worth what you pay for it. None of you pay me. There you go. I understand it is absolutely frustrating that you get a $1 tip. I understand you got a kid and everything else, and the customer should have been better, blah, blah, blah. But you were just as at fault for accepting a no-tip order. It's just reality. It's no tip, no trip. Not no tip, do the order anyway. Not no tip, do the order begrudgingly. No tip, no trip. It's that simple. How do you solve for that? And I'm sure she's doing a lot of these things already. I'm just kind of being that guy for a second. I say diversify your gig portfolio. You're on DoorDash. Are you on UberEats? Are you on Grubhub? Have you, like you said, you were doing shopping orders? Are you doing Instacart? Are you on Walmart Spark? Have you gave Shipt a shot? Or are you on Shipt Drivers? Are you on either one of these programs? What about routes like with Veho or Amazon Flex? The list can go on, and I'm not going to go listing everything. What about an exit strategy? You said the gig economy is an income bridge to what would be a long-term goal for yourself, not the goal. And that's why you're in college. Again, you're working towards a better degree and a better career. You're working 3 jobs to take care of a kid. I really hope it works out. But these rules don't just apply to the single mom with a 5-year-old with special needs requirements. It's for anybody, whether it's a single guy or anybody else, really. And one of the best ways you can accomplish that goal is through the Driven Wyld Discord server. The Driven Wyld Discord community is exclusive for gig workers looking to expand their knowledge and expertise in their self-employment and entrepreneurial journeys. I've partnered with high-level professionals to bring you some of the most exclusive benefits based on your personal needs as a gig worker. Professional opportunities and gig postings, live streams with high-level professionals in our industry, educational systems to help help you build your own dispatch company as well as other scalable opportunities. So whether you're a gig worker looking for more opportunities to earn or an exit strategy because the gig economy is an income bridge to what would be a long-term goal and not the goal, there is something here for you. Check out the link in the description and get started with making the most amount of money in the least amount of time and in the safest possible way. We are looking forward to working with you and helping you secure your financial future. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time.